Welcome back, friendly ghosts. So this is not live. This is me coming at you in the future. I recorded this like a month ago, and it was the result of bad audio, and I had to completely scrape it. You know, I was using a USB portable microphone, a really shoddy microphone, because I thought it would fix my problem, but it turned out it didn't. So I figured I might as well use my better microphone, and here we are. So this is continuation of the Rose solo, and I skipped ahead a bit, as you can see. I skipped that big cutscene because I figured with this playthrough is more about the gameplay and more about how to beat the game with Rose, as a solo. So this is what we're gonna try to make up for it since it's not live. I just want to get right to the gameplay. Now the rules of this was no item shops. Of course, you have to win with only Rose in a boss fight, and if for whatever reason you get 10 consecutive perfects in Dragoon, you get to buy an item shop. Buy one item from an item shop. Pardon me. So I believe I had 7 perfects at around this time, and yeah. So I think that's everything I need to recap. Story recap. If you don't know the story, I don't know why you're watching this, because I definitely haven't been making that the mainstay. But we beat the phantom ghost of the phantom ship of a royal princess who was killed, related to Shauna somehow, supposedly. That's what all the ghost thinks. And as we were getting off the boat crashed, or it sunk underwater or something, and Dart and Rose fell off board. And here we are. We're saving like some kid who rescued us and his sick mother, and we're taking them into a nearby town. So to speak on what's going on here, I guess I'm just like being like a play-by-play commentator, color commentator. So in this Rose solo, as with any solo, when you're playing with an individual character, when you have like only one character standing, it's extremely dangerous because any single status effect will end up giving you a game over and it will wipe you out. It will completely wipe you out. So as a situation like right here, I made a mistake by not killing the mermaid. Whenever you hit an enemy and get them below half health to the yellow marker, or even near a yellow marker, if you let them charge their spirit, then they start using their game over attacks, basically. So I got lucky here that she didn't hit me with bewitchment. She bewitches you and takes over your controls your character. What's it called? The Yu-Gi-Oh card? Change of Hearts? So there's one perfect right there. Look at that perfect. Look at the skill. Look at the drill. And look at its kill. That's what I'm talking about, baby. We main perfects around here. We mainline them. We ain't about the perfects. Then we ain't about the surface of intellect and pure gaming skill. Here we go for the second perfect. Can I get? Oh my god, he is on fire. This lovely and handsome owl is killing it. So I believe that makes 9 perfects at that point in time. So yeah, really killing it. Watching this in Windows Movie Maker, by the way, so it's kind of laggy a bit. Spirit potions. I feel like there's some sort of secret dirty strat you can use with spirit potions, but the thing is, with spirit potions, you don't get them all that often. I'm gonna just spit a bunch of just Legend of Dragoon facts, because I'm not live. I can just concentrate on gameplay stuff. So this might be special, it might not be, might be a train wreck. With spirit potions, what you can do with those, since you can't buy them, they have a very high value as for their usage. They're the only item in the game that you can use to farm, like in RuneScape, when you can buy like items to level up your farming or your crafting or whatever. That's essentially what spirit potions are in this game. You use those to farm up your levels, or you can use them in a desperate situation to get you an instant Dragoon level. And here's me again making that same mistake. I hit him, I got him below half health, and I actually paid for it with bewitchment. So now I'm panicking here because Dart with 1 HP, and he's like an extremely low Dart, like he gets hit with the pebble, he's dying 10 times over. So I'm thinking, like, what can I do to get myself out of this situation? If I try to cure Rose, what if he just hits her with a Bewitchment again? Or what if he hits Dart and then he gets another turn and he bewitches Rose? So I'm panicking right now. I am panicking and I say, you know what? I'll take a shot. This is my only chance. I'm surprised I went with that, and he's going to get another turn. I remember this. He gets another turn and he aims it at Dart. I got so fucking lucky. And he didn't get another turn. And I'm panicking even still, like, I hope that she doesn't miss. I'm hoping she doesn't miss this edition. And thank goodness I got away with it scot-free. I got away with murder, son. So that's the dangers of doing a solo, is you run into situations like that with Rose in particular, since she has a lot of these duo segments where you don't have a full party to back you up. She runs into these scenarios where, you know, it's a shady situation. They take you, the enemy NPCs take you into a back alley, and you just got to punch your way free. So I'm looking at a black screen right now. I can't see what's happening because Windows Movie Maker is slow. Okay, it was loading. I might actually just skip this part, but this is us taking the boy who saved us and his mother to the new town, and we're going to meet up with our old parties here. But back on the spirit potions, one of the secret dirty things you could do is to get spirit potions and get your SP up really fast. There's an area in Disc 1, Chapter 1, where you have the ability to play mini games in a carnival. Now you don't have to play the mini games because that's an extremely slow way to go about it. You can just spend flat out money on it. You know, buy, you know, what's it called? Loot boxes. Buy what do they call it in NBA 2K and NBA Live, where they just like ultimate team packages. You just buy a bunch of those, and you buy a bunch of tickets, and you trade your tickets in to get a spirit potion. And what you do is you keep farming for those spirit potions, keep getting them, and you dump them all into one character in one single battle. And you could level up your character from like level 1, and you could probably level them up all the way to maybe level 3. I don't know, you might not have enough. I don't think there's enough inventory space for that. But theoretically, you could farm your character up from like level 1 all the way to level 5 within just a few battles by doing this. So now we got information about Lenus, who we were chasing after in a boat. She's in this prison island, scissoring with some other character who is her love that we don't know who it is yet. But he is a bitch, and he is nothing but a bitch. And that is all that we need to know. And we're going to track her down, and we're going to kill her. We're going to compel her to put some freaking clothes on. Put some clothes on. This ain't kill to kill. Ain't nobody trying to see your crotch. In pixels, at least. So now we got a full team with this. I'm not too worried about Rose going down anymore. I'm feeling really confident in my own suit. Random enemy, I don't think I really care about this guy. I don't think he drops anything that important, probably like a bunch of gold, maybe a little bit of experience. But I'm farming Shauna as my backup and try to get her SP up to level 5. I don't really need Shauna to be at high physical level. I just need her to get her Dragoon levels up. So that's the only thing I'm really keeping her in my party for, to train. Then I'm gonna toss her away, you know, and I'm saving her for the final boss, because final boss is just like, you know, I don't have to, I'm not really trying to kill off my party members at that point. I'll still have to finish the fight solo with Rose, but I could benefit from using Shauna having a level 5 at that point in time. So here's what I'm thinking is the dirtiest strat with Rose, and I'm just doing this off the cuff. I haven't thought about it at all. I'm just doing it because I'm doing this video right now, and it'd be a sham if I didn't give any sort of thought about this. So the dirtiest strat with Rose, I would think, possible. She's mainly a physical character, Alright, okay, well, let me start from scratch. Throughout the entirety of the game, Rose is she's a magical character. She's stronger with magic. Her level 1 magic attack is one of the best in the game throughout all of Disc 1. And throughout all of Disc 2, basically. All of Disc 2. Right, Hassel, his magical attack is pretty whack. Dart comes close. Once you get Dart to level 3, but you know, that's level 3. Rose has the best level 1 magic spell, and it lasts all the way through Disc 2 until we get Miru's, and she takes on that reign. So, the thing with Rose is she's a magical character throughout most of the game. Then you get her to like Disc 3 and Disc 4, and that's when she starts to decline and her usage gets overtaken by other characters. Miru takes over the reign as a magical character. Shauna, you put the work in with her, she takes over that reigns as well. As far as speed, you got Hashiel, Shauna, and Miru, and you'll probably have on a speed ring with Albert or whoever, and they'll be faster than Rose as well. So with Rose, she's a mixed character because she gets outclassed by every other character by the time you finish the game. And even with herself, she has like a midlife crisis where she switches from being a magical character, then she switches to being a physical character. You know, so she switches her I don't know the word to say for this. She switches her strengths, for lack of better words. So she's an oddball average character, whereas Dart is, you know, he's the main overall average character. Whereas Rose, she's just an off-ball because he doesn't have a lot of HP either. She has the second lowest HP value, second only to Miru, and she doesn't have all that much defense or magic defense for that matter. A lot of the enemies you fight are going to be either light based or, you know, neutral. You know, they're not going to be a lot of, no, not light based, they're going to have a lot of light based attacks. And Rose, she's being darkness based, she finds a lot of enemies that are darkness based by the end of the game, so all of her damage gets cut in half. You know, so it's like you have all these things going against Rose. She's having a midlife crisis. She's not better than other characters. She has the hardest additions to do from start to finish. Just her third and fourth additions are the hardest comparatively to the other characters, because you don't have Labbits. If Labbits were a mainstay, then yeah, Labbits would have the hardest additions, just because Rod Typhoon is ridiculous. There's no way you can prep for that unless you have absolutely no input delay. There's no way you can prep for that addition. So with Rose, I did a lot of talking witut saying one strat. My bad. I'm still thinking. So with this being a solo, her main strat is just going to be Astral Drain, really. With it being a solo, because she's going to get all the HP for herself. And I've been doing Astral Drain and it's coming huge. Like normally that spell, it starts to fall off, but using it with Rose, she gets some filthy damage. You know, she's basically takes over the reign as Shauna. She gets a full recovery off of Astral Drain, and she deals mad amount of damage. So with her, you're going to want to always go into special with Rose, and you're going to want to Astral Drain. You know, put all your beef stalking, your beef jerky into magic, special up, and then with the Bennett solo, have your other characters die so that they don't steal off of your HP gains, and then go for Astral Drain, and you'll probably get around 1k heals for each level 1 spell. You'll get about 1k heals, which means you're getting 1k damage. Now, she doesn't have a level 2 or level 3 spell that's worth much, and you're just gunning the whole time trying to get her ultimate attack. I don't know why I'm standing looking at this flappy troll. Did I fall asleep or something? I can't tell. So yeah, you're just basically farming the whole time, trying to get her ultimate edition, trying to get her Dragoon levels up as quickly as possible, because she only has level 1 and level 5 Dragoon spells, basically. Those are the only useful spells that she has. And her only useful edition is her ultimate edition, which you get relatively fast. That's a bonus for her, is that she peaks very early, but at the same time she can carry you for a long amount of time because of that. Whereas other characters, you're still training, trying to get to a certain point. She's already maxed out before any other character if you are using her. Let's see, do I have any other dirty strats I could talk about? Not really. I guess I could talk about the recent trends, how Legend of Dragoon was trending on Twitter like 2 days ago now. Yeah, it's not really much, just it was just trending. It was trending worldwide. I got you know, some beeping, you know, some messages and notifications about, like, while I was editing like a Parasite Eve video, my first playthrough of that, and then I was just looking like, what, Legend of Dragoon is trending? Like, for what? You know, I'm getting, like, I'm not trying to get my hopes up, but I'm giving you giving the side eye. You know, I'm looking out the corner. You know, like like, you know, what's she talking about, realist? What's you? Okay, Legend of Dragoon is trending worldwide. Look it up. Of course, it's nothing that we wanted. It was just, you know, just trending just for the hell of it, basically. And Parasite Eve was trending as well. Yeah, not much happened. Not much. Funny that Legend of Dragoon is surprisingly relevant, I would say. Like, it's surprisingly relevant how it's like a random burst of people remembering the game, and they're like, oh yeah, this game is dope, we need a 420 nice. So yeah, man, it really feels like something was taken out of life when Demon Souls remake was announced, doesn't it? It feels like something was taken out, and something vital. But, you know, it's gonna be a long wait before we hear anything else. If we hear anything else. I suppose I've always had doubts. And I have doubts. My biggest doubt for this game is that, you know, it's such a big game. It's such a long game. And it's like, as much as I wanted to get a remake or a remaster, I'm thinking to myself, like, would they be able to remake everything, every aspect of this game? Is that even possible? As this game is so huge, like, we're lucky to be able to get this game as kids back in the 90s, or I mean back in the, well, I guess a lot of us didn't get in the 90s, we got in the 2000s, but it came out in 99. We were so lucky back in the day to get this game to hold us over. Could you imagine how many blockbuster trips that were saved because we were playing this game? This game held us over, man. And for them to remake this game, they're gonna have to go balls to the wall. Like, I fear that they would cut a lot of content, RE3 style, you know. And actually, I say fear, but actually I think that would be okay, because I think that not every part of this game is essential. Like, I feel like this game, okay, I'm gonna get into my Legend of Dragoon. This is my first review of Legend of Dragoon, my favorite game. Alright, so give me slack if you think that I'm being hateful. I'm just being truthful. You know, I just tell it how it is. I'm being truthful. I'm gonna spill it how it is. It's my favorite game, so you can't pull that card out on me. I'm just gonna spill it and give you, goddamn chair, just gonna spill it and give you the real. I think that this game, okay, official review, action. Right. So, Legend of Dragoon. So, as much as I love this game, I feel like this game gets in its own way. When I ask myself, what is the best part of Legend of Dragoon? When you ask yourself, or what's often the thing that you would hear? The best thing about LOD is the combat. But at the same time, the game doesn't always recognize that that is the best part about itself. And so where I feel like this game gets in its own way is that you have a lot of it is hardware issues with the loading times, but it stays the same. You know, the best part about the game is the combat, but you have long loading times, you have long animation times. All these things take away from you playing the combat. You know, these long stare-offs between turns. You know, you have these long loads into random encounters. You have all these things going against it, and that takes you out of the rhythm. You have long story beats of dialogue that you can't skip, and cutscenes that you can't skip. When you get a game over at a tough boss, you have cutscenes that you have to rewatch over and over every single time. These are things that get in the way. You have with it being combat being like the best part about the game, there's elements missing in the combat where it's like there's a complementary supplement dessert that should be served alongside it to really emphasize how what's the main focus, which is the combat. You should have things that should just complement it. But the combat is standing on a island. You know, it's just bare on an island, butt naked. Take it or leave it. You know, and it's like at a certain point in the game, you max out all of your abilities in disc 1, and it's like it would be nice throughout disc 2 or disc 3, you know, throughout each disc to get a little bit of something to add on to the flavor. But once you get special, you max out everything that you have to go off of in the game, and you're just training your skills from that point on. It would be nice to like have some of those story key items playing an effect. Like one thing I was thinking about is like when you get the block staff. When you get the block staff in disc 3, it would be cool if that were an actual element to the gameplay, where you could pull out the block staff, and that becomes a new layer of depth for the player to experiment with. You know, and who's to say what that would entail of how they would balance that, but it would have served a purpose, you know? What's another example? When you get Shauna's Dragoon spirit in disc 1, it would be cool if you could somehow use that spirit for something. Like you use 2 spirits to like activate one. If you could somehow use that to like, I don't know, maybe like transfer spirit SP to somebody else, you know, it's something wacky. It could just be like a limited time thing, but it'll be pretty dope if, you know, that were something that happened, you know, something just to change the norm. Let's say when you what's another one? Disc 1, nothing really key item heavy happens in disc 1. Disc 2, what happens in disc 2? Disc 2, you lose Dart's Dragoon spirit, and you're trying to get it back for a decent middle part of it. Let's say during that time, during that time, it would just be nice to be able to take Dart out of the party. That's something, but that's not a new element. I guess there's not really much you could do with that. So yeah, not much in this too that would be story related that you can really do. But let's say when you get to the gravity place, the gravity corrupted, you know, the shitty place. That's cool in concept, but you know, it's not that cool to play through. Even though a lot of people hate it, I don't think it's that bad because it's so short and quick to get through if you know where to go. Let's say that area, that's an opportunity to change things up. You know, you have like a gravity thing playing in effect, or maybe you're like playing upside down or something, or maybe there's something in effect that just changes the way combat is playing just for that specific zone. You know, there's things like that I feel like could be used to enhance and just to complement what's already the main event of the game, which is the combat. And these things, they aren't there, so the combat is just standing alone. And after a while, people will get tired of the game. They'll get tired of the combat. They'll put it down for a while, and you know, some people hate the game because of that. They say it's not enough. It's not enough options. You know, I just think that the game, they didn't really realize what would be the most memorable part of the game, even though they kind of did, because that was like their main advertisement, is that state-of-the-art combat system. But you know, they could have done more. That's all I'm saying. So yeah, I think the game gets in the way of itself a lot of the times because it just goes away from its strengths. It doesn't optimize itself all that well. And then you have these long drawn out dungeons that obviously there's no fast travel in or out. And here's Lenus, by the way, part 2. She's stronger, she put on some clothes. And thus, when I say she's stronger, sorry, I meant she gets weaker because she puts on some clothes. She has her friend, her pet, Rascal. So with Rose during this fight, both of these guys are going to be weaker. Lenus is weaker to physical attacks, but the dragon, he's just kind of middle in between. But mostly, I think he's mostly weaker to magic. So you have like a 50-50 split here. So which one are you going to optimize going after first? I don't know who I went after first. We'll find out. Damn, I've been talking for a long time. Why didn't y'all tell me to shut up? So 275 on Lenus off of more, her weakest edition. So I'm trying to get special so I could ruin their day. Trying to get special and get the ultra big astral drain. But I'm not going to get that chance. Waited too long. Biscuits were fed. Man, I tell you guys what, Parasite Eve is definitely something worth playing. If you haven't played it, if you always looked it off, give it a try, man. That game, holy cow, that game is really worth it, man. Like, you don't realize how fun it is until you play it. So now we're in 1-on-2 territory, and they're kicking my butt relatively. But I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to heal her, then I'm going to give her energy physical shield, or no, just go straight for the heals. So I'm going to test this all out on her pet, because her pet's going to be the big juicer here. So normally her astral drain will heal you for like 100 because it's split 3 ways, and she's not going to be as buff. But I'm not sure what it's going to do here. I haven't seen this since I recorded it 3 months ago or 2 months ago, something like that. $680. So yeah, that's it's a pretty big heal. Would have been about 1K if I got the special off. Yeah, Dragoon mode is essential here because I'm a one-man army here. You know, I'm taking on a tag team, and if I weren't gooning up, then this damage would have been probably in the 200s or the 150s, and it's gonna add up really quick. So I gotta have that extra. I'm mostly using it for the defense boost than anything else, at least till I could get like a decent amount of HP back and take one of them down. So I have a feeling after this I'm gonna hit him with like a spell just to get rid of the big guy. You know, I've always wanted to speedrun this game, but it's just too damn long for me, you know, and I don't know if I could do that health-wise. Health-wise, it's not a good idea for me to sit down for that long to play this game. I need to get up and stretch and move around, you know, and I don't really know the speedrun rules all that much, so I like to get it done in one sitting. If I can't do it in one sitting, then it's not possible for me. And also, there's just this difference in approach. When I play this game, I think about being the most efficient, and I aim to be quick, but not that type of quick. Like with the speedrunner, they want to be as fast as possible in real time, which means they count the animations and the cutscenes, and they account for those things, but they're not playing the most efficient way all the time. They're just playing for the quickest way. And when I play it for being as efficient as I can possibly be for each turn. I may not always take the optimal approach in that regard, but that's usually my aim. And that means that all the time I'm not using the quickest way, I'm using some long cutscenes. So there's a divide in those two approaches, where like I'm being efficient and I'm being quick relatively to the turns, but not for IRL time. You know, so there's that one difference, and then there's also the fact that, you know, they look forward and they plan everything out, and you know, it's just like I don't like looking that far ahead when I'm playing. I don't like planning my routes all that much. I just let it come to me as it comes, you know. If I were to plan everything out, it would get boring for me. It would be way too boring for me if I was just planning everything, you know, buying specific items at specific points in time, you know, saving them. You know, that's just not my style. So even though I love this game, and even though it's one of my all-time favorites, it's not something that I would ever try to speedrun. Unless there is a remake, and that remake is much shorter, then we might be talking. But yeah, as I was talking about before, that review segment, is that I think there's just a lot of part of this game that's being wasted, that isn't going towards its actual strengths. Whereas if there were a remake, they could try to cut some of the loose fat out and make it all muscle. Like areas like the barrens between the towns and this dude, it's just a wide open space of nothing that you could kind of cut that into like let's say you go into this dude, you run into Mappy, the boss fight, and he takes your spirit. That could be one cutscene. That whole area could be one cutscene, and maybe one screen of going into Duewl. right? Like, it doesn't have to be like 2 or 3 screens worth of area to explore. Let's see. Let's try to get a disc 1. So you start off in Celeste, you go to you go through the forest, and you go from the forest to the prison. In a remake, they would probably make the forest an extension of Celeste, and after that, you'll probably have like a cutscene that transitions you to the outskirts of Helena Prison. And once you get to the prison, they'll probably go all out with the prison. They'll probably have all the same levels, but it probably won't be. I don't know. It probably won't be as big, or it might be. Who knows? But I think the prison is going to be all right. But I think the forest area will be cut. The maze is definitely going to get cut. Some of those extra screens are going to be cut, and they're going to probably be like linked to Celeste in some way. So yeah, this 1-on-1 battle is just a matter of nutrition. Just hitting her with physicals, guarding physicals. She doesn't really hit all that hard. Worth healing. Watch me heal. Yeah, watch me just heal, proving myself wrong. Actually, I'll probably goon up, if anything else, because you can't hurt me in Dragoon. I imagine I'm going to goon up. Who wants to bet? On the next turn, who wants to bet? I bet you a playthrough of Mortal Kombat Deception that I goon up on this next turn coming up. If I don't Dragoon on the next turn, then I play Mortal Kombat Deception. Full playthrough next week. Alright, that's the bet. You guys want to shake hands on that? You guys, you haven't shook hands yet. You still haven't shaken. Damn, man. No, you almost had it. You got to be quicker than that. So yeah, I think the forest area is going to get cut at the beginning. I think the prairie is probably going to be. I think the prairie is going to be safe. I think that's going to be safe. But what's one big area that I think is going to get cut the worst? That needs to be cut and probably would be cut the worst. I think that would be, let's see, go through. I think definitely the cave. The cave is going to get a freaking axe taken through its cooch. That is going to get completely vaporized, man. You'll probably have like the stepping stones and a waterfall, and then it'll probably phase you into like a bunch of creepy award looking rooms going into the boss fight. I bet that's going to get cut. They're going to take away the frog. They're going to take away, a lot of those sliding areas. They'll probably keep the slide. The slide will probably transition you into the stepping stones or something like that. Bale, I imagine that they wouldn't be able to cut any towns like that. I imagine the towns would be safe. Yeah, you go through the towns like normal, everything's intact, there's nothing really too offensive about the towns, spatial-wise. Maybe they'll take away the library or something like that. Or maybe they'll get rid of the healing inns. Not the ends, but was that a perfect right there? Another perfect? Damn. If that wasn't 10 already, then that would be 10 right there. Yeah, I think the nursing homes will probably get taken out. can't think of the names. The palace would get cut for sure. For sure, the palace would get cut. A lot of those side rooms will probably be taken out, where you climb down ladders and stuff and go into like a side areas. Those would probably get cut, definitely. I'm not saying I want them to, but they probably would be. Hoax would be the same. Actually, Hoax would probably just be one big cutscene. Hoax would probably be one huge cutscene. You go in there, you talk to the commander, probably get introduced to the town or whatever, and then the commander tells you the blah 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 blah, and then you Shauna, go cook, go pretend that you're useful, you know, and they'll probably take that out. They'll definitely change that, because people will get too butthurt about that. You know, she is 16, you know, she's not a fighter, so she shouldn't be fighting. But I imagine they'll probably pull something like Shauna's like fighting on the ramparts or something like that. She's like shooting arrows, you know. She'll probably have a role in that fight. But I imagine it would be like one big cutscene of instant boss fight. You don't get to explore Hoax. And I imagine, yeah, that's how I imagine that. You go into Hoax, cutscene, maybe a cutscene exploration moment with Shauna and Dart. Then you go straight into the boss fights. Then you get introduced to Rose. Ah, man, I should do like a whole video talking about how I envision the game from start to finish. What's going to get cut and what wouldn't get cut. I might do that. So this is basically the end of this video, because we beat Lenus, and I didn't really talk about it because it wasn't really all that much to talk about. And yeah, I'll continue the Rose solo soon, hopefully, after doing this. If this recorded, I hope it recorded. It doesn't look like it's okay. It recorded. So I'll probably continue the Rose solo off and on with Parasite Eve. So I'm doing this today, so I'll probably get back to Parasite Eve about in another day or two, because you got to give me time to record it. Then editing it, it's probably going to take a full day. So let's see, I imagine this is going to be up. This is going to be up on July the 9th. I mean July the 8th. It's going to be up July the 8th, probably afternoon. And I'll probably record Parasite Eve July the 8th at night, and I'll be editing it through the 9th, and it'll probably be up around the 10th or the 11th. Well, that's usually how I do things. Yeah. Nice little wrap up. This was probably the most boring video I've ever done, because it doesn't lie. But hey, what you gonna do about it? I could have just cut the entire footage because I didn't have any audio to go with it. But I wanted to get this in the history books. So hopefully you guys enjoyed, and with that I bid you further ado. May peace be with, always keep your heads up, deuces, those both adios, stay cool, and if you like my content, be sure to show some love, but always be sure to show some love to the people that matter to you. And this is ITOwl. Be cool. Peace.